Welcome to the 2021 Gym Games, the annual South African Gymnastics National Championships. While the COVID-19 pandemic prevented in-venue attendance by spectators this year, we did manage to host South Africa's best gymnasts in 3 venues in Tshwane to compete. Over the next 30 minutes, we will bring you some highlights from this year's 2021 Gym Games.
So just to see the kids competing again, the smiles on the faces of the kids, the coaches, it's just absolutely amazing. I'm overwhelmed. It means the world to us to have this event back on track. It's a highlight of our year, so we are happy to be here. Sad that we can't have the parents inside here cheering, but that's not of our making. So yeah, everything's going well. Judges, I've spoken to a few of the judges and I've spoken to a few of the coaches. Everybody's happy. We think every single person in this country can participate in some form of gymnastics. So we want to grow our schools, want to grow our clubs. We managed to sustain most of our clubs throughout these last 2 years. So that is something we really want to build on. So it's all about growth and taking the different disciplines of gymnastics to all corners of South Africa. We have the means to do that. You know, it doesn't have to be inaccessible and unaffordable. If I can sum it all up, we want to grow gymnastics and we are going to grow gymnastics. Possibilities to compete internationally is there. So we've just sent some participants to the Olympics, of course.
The Olympics, yeah, it was amazing. There's so many emotions and it's so much to try and put into like a sentence, but it really was, I think, everything like we've dreamed of and my dream come true, you know, to come back as an Olympian. And I'm really happy that I could go there and inspire all these young gymnasts and to show them, me and NAVEEN, that it is possible to get there.
Preparing for the Olympics was definitely not easy. There was a lot of ups and downs, but I do think KAYLA and I really pushed ourselves a lot.
We had some participants at the African Champs. We've got the World Age Group Championships coming up in trampoline and tumbling, where we'll also be sending youngsters. It's also about developing a high-performance sport, because if we can get someone to represent the country, they of course serve as role models for other people. So our high-performance program is also very, very important to us. You know? So it's a lot of work, but yeah, we're up to the challenge.
We saw competition in all 8 gymnastics disciplines, with over 2,000 gymnasts competing from all over South Africa.
Organising the Gym Games for 2021 has been a challenge. We all know that COVID has really just put a back burner on a lot of sporting events, and it's been such a yo-yo between knowing how many people we're allowed to have indoors and trying to pre-plan that. One of the biggest challenges was that 4 weeks before this event started, we were only allowed 50 people indoors. And so we had to move from our 2 booked venues to 3 venues to ensure that we could accommodate all the participants. And then those numbers quickly drove up, but we stuck with the 3 venues. It just did allow some freedom of movement for us. The biggest challenge has been the unfortunate not having any spectators in the venue with us. We're sure that's going to change soon. But the biggest victory was just holding the games. It is so wonderful after 20 months of not being able to really participate as a national championships, all 8 disciplines together, and we've done it. And that is the biggest success of this Gym Games, is seeing all the gymnasts, all the coaches, all the judges in the halls competing against each other, all 9 provinces. Really just here to enjoy the sport of gymnastics. So entering this year, there was, because of COVID, a cap on the number of gymnasts that could come to gym games. The clubs really had to pull out all the stops and ensure that their gymnasts were trained to the top of their province in order to qualify and come through to the championships. There was also a lot of extra paperwork with regards to COVID regulations and Poppy Act regulations, but everyone has been amazing at going through all of that.
Stick around. After the break, we dive into the highlights of Gym Games 2021. Welcome back. We kick off the action with rhythmic gymnastics on day one of the competition.
I think our gymnasts have gone through a really difficult time with the COVID-19 pandemic, and we're just really proud of them for getting on the competition floor and competing. It's been difficult not getting any international exposure, and even local competitions we haven't managed to do. But we're really proud of our gymnasts for sticking it through, and we've got 20 seniors, which is fantastic, and it shows that they love gymnastics because they've all stuck it out through the pandemic. So we're just really proud of all of them. I think that we've got some fantastic seniors. A lot of our seniors are first or second year, and they've got a great future ahead of them. We do have some beautiful juniors coming through, and they just need a little bit more experience before they get into the senior category. So today the judges were looking for clean execution. This is the last time we'll be competing with this code, so we really wanted our gymnasts to be pushing the difficulty and performing it well. The judges were also looking for great artistry, which is the performance. So they wanted to see the gymnasts enjoying the routine and performing well to the music.
It feels absolutely amazing to be competing on the carpet again. We haven't been able to train properly, we haven't been able to compete locally or even internationally. So just to be able to come here and compete with our friends, it feels just so great, because I mean, what is a sport without being able to show yourself and compete and show what you can do?
I think my strongest routine today was definitely clubs. Even though I did have just one drop, I'd feel the most confident with it, and I think it was my best today.
I feel it was amazing. I think just to be back and competing is a big step, especially after COVID, even though it's not the same without an audience though.
So I'll be competing in the World Championships in Japan, in Kitakyushu, and I'm really excited for it. I cannot wait to go compete and represent my country and proudly shine South Africa's flag.
Tumbling also didn't wait for anyone, and the competition started on day two at the Jonibach Centre, where SA's best tumblers were in action.
The state of trampoline and tumbling in South Africa is on an upward trajectory. I think we're making small strides in making big improvements. The future stars in trampoline and tumbling are looking very bright. We've started a new initiative as the Trampoline DMC, where we've started a national training squad where we're hoping to cultivate young talent to bring medals like our stars and legends from the past. The judges this year are looking for good execution, good form, well-controlled perfection of elements. So the gymnasts just have to work on how they do their elements and completing their passes without any major mistakes.
I'm very excited, been preparing well these past few weeks, and we're looking forward to good competition, new challenge, and getting gold results.
I'm very excited to go to the World Age Games. I'm hoping to get a gold, and I'm hoping to get a scholarship.
Men's artistics was again represented in full force. SA's top men's artistic gymnasts were in attendance, and they did not disappoint.
Today my aim was just to come in and do the best I can and hit the routines and stay on and improve from the last time.
competition between me and MK is really strong. We compete well together, we train well together, and very happy to compete with him.
All of the guys have been incredible. I've watched their whole careers. So for me to actually stand on the same podium with him has been absolutely insane. I couldn't have asked for a better result.
We are quite a close-knit team because we cheer each other on, and even though we're each other's biggest competition, we love to see each other doing better every time and feed off each other's good energy.
That's it. That's it. Let's go, boy. Come on, big finish. Yes, boy.
What has stood out for me about this event is really just the smiles on all of the gymnasts' faces. We've had new national champions crowned, reactions of the gymnasts. When I see gymnasts punching, you know, their fists and raising their arms and running around after they've performed because they're just so excited, one, to be in action and at how well they are doing. And when I see the camaraderie of, you know, not having spectators in the venue, but then the gymnasts and coaches, they're all supporting each other. They're giving each other the upliftment that they need in order to pull off the performances that they need. I'm just so proud of the gymnastics family and what they've brought out in this games. So our judges like to concentrate on usually 3 different sections. They look at the artistry of the sport, in those sports that have some kind of choreography and artistry, their musicality if they've got music as part of that. But what they also look at is how perfectly the gymnasts execute their routines. And that's one of the key importances. And the last section that they look at is they look at the difficulty. So they look at how difficult the moves are that the gymnasts are doing, and they combine all of that to give them their overall scores.
The acro gymnastics category saw spectacular teamwork and graceful routines. The trampolining competitors offered a range of exciting acrobatic maneuvers, all performed seamlessly while bouncing on a trampoline.
The future of tumbling and trampoline going forward for me looks very bright because yesterday we had the last day of tumbling, which had a lot of kids in it that were really up-and-coming stars, and today we had the first day of trampoline that started with our higher levels, and we had 4 participants that are going to the World Championships and World Age Group Games. So we're really excited about that. They gave a good performance and a good showing of what the sport is really about.
It was really exciting to be able to compete again. Even though my routines weren't as great as I wanted them to be, it was really fun to be able to be on the floor and compete and do my best to the best of abilities that I could do it.
I'm happy with my performance and I came first today.
The aerobic teams made a great effort to showcase their skills at this year's competition.
The discipline of aerobics in South Africa this year, during the competition, it wasn't that tough because we didn't have much time for training due to the COVID situation. Most of the clubs are not participating in aerobics as a discipline. So we're looking at schools because the schools are doing the level 1, 2, 3 aerobics. That's where most of our members are. It's a nice sport. You don't need apparatus. It's free. You can practice on any hard surface. So yeah, with aerobics it's really possible. We don't need equipments.
More action to come after the break, where we look at rope skipping, new category parkour, and women's artistic highlights. Welcome back. SA's best rope skippers showed off their skills and speed at this year's Gym Games. Let's hear from SA's top rope skipper.
The championships were awesome. I'm really happy with my performance personally, considering the fact that sometimes we could not go to gym due to what is happening in the country now, worldwide, so to say, COVID-19. Sometimes it was so hard for us to train. We really had to push hard. And out of all my national championships, I feel like this was the best, especially on speed. There's so much more talent. Just that sometimes others are not able to come to the championships or be able to attend certain competitions because of their financial matters. So for future, I would love to see more of the athletes attending such competitions.
It was nice seeing kids get back together after a very long time because it's been a difficult 2 years. You know, see rope skipping gaining more momentum and reaching the most remote areas. Well, rope skipping at the moment in South Africa, I see it as a high developing discipline. It's one sporting code that doesn't need quite a lot of equipment. They only need a rope and just a pair of sneakers and just as a place to jump on. So I'm just happy to see that, you know, we actually getting a lot of people trying to get into rope skipping. In terms of development in the near future, we are currently having the Skip Nation. So we have the Skip Nation, the rope skipping in the box, which is actually part of the school's curriculum. Our main objective right now is not only on high performance, but rather development, because we're trying to use rope skipping as a tool for holistic development. I mean, sports is a very, very important tool that one can use to fight against the social ills that we find our kids involved in, and the pressure, especially that COVID-19 has caused in our community. So we need to work together. So as rope skipping, we are working towards achieving that. Yeah, my advice to other, you know, kids who are out there looking at the videos of rope skipping, my advice to you is to actually come, teachers, get your schools registered as rope skipping clubs, because schools are the hubs. Schools are the hubs for sports development in our country. So we need schools that actually participate in sporting codes.
It was overwhelming because everybody was so united. The camaraderie is out of this world. I was really proud of today.
Parkour made its debut at the Gym Games National Championships, although a relatively new sport. We are sure to see some traction and growth in the coming months.
So this is our first national event that we've had for the parkour from the Gymnastics South Africa side. It was very exciting. A lot of variables that we weren't sure what was going to happen, but everything panned out fantastically. The people really seemed to have enjoyed it. The athletes certainly did. They had a lot of fun while doing it. There's a lot of, since it's very new, there's a lot of things that that changed and that came in, but luckily everything worked out. And yeah, we're very excited about where it's heading and where it's growing towards. It's fairly new in the Gymnastics South Africa side. There's some people that have been doing it in South Africa for quite a while now, for quite a couple of years. And we've got a couple of experts from that circle to assist us with developing the program specifically for clubs and for training. So it has grown. Actually, we started on quite a high step already, but there's still a lot of growth, especially in the international side of parkour, and we are aiming to reach the same level so that we can compete at least internationally. So specifically in South Africa, I think the interest started mostly a couple of years ago. Online parkour went viral, and a lot of kids and even adults saw the videos and know what parkour is. So we have a short list of guys that we are developing, and we have quite a couple of newcomers that we're finding as we go along, like Thomas, that has competed today. Some of the names on the list would be Dominique de Oliveira, who's in the team to go to Japan as soon as the COVID situation has panned out. And then we also have Bjorn Leclerc and Cameron Groep that we're looking at developing for some international competitions. So some exciting news for the parkour would be the World Championships that will be held early next year. We're excited to see some rising new stars from different communities coming as well. While we're developing and growing the sport, they are popping up all the time, so we're very excited for it.
The Women's Artistic Gymnastics competition represented this year. This category is a credit to the incredible discipline and strength of SA's top female gymnastics competitors.
Judging gymnastics is complex. We have a combination of difficulty and execution. So the gymnasts have to get it right, that they choose their difficulty and perform it well. Because if they choose a high level of difficulty and they have lots of errors, it combats the score. So we have one panel of judges that are looking for the difficulty and award the level of difficult movements, and the rest of the panel are looking for performance of errors, balance, height, execution of confidence, and very good composition and choreography on floor. Those are all components that the judges are looking for, and it makes for a very interesting score in the end, because the difficulty score combines with the execution score. It's a very good way to determine a good score in the end, because you're not just only valuing difficulty, you are also putting a very high price on good, neat, clean performance.
Gymnastics South Africa is very excited to be putting its 2030 plan into motion. We have some audacious goals. We really do believe that we are the foundation sport for all sports. And for that, we are aiming to be in all 25,000 schools across the country. We are wanting our clubs to grow and become more professional. We are wanting to see social enterprises in the communities to create more jobs, to have all our children in the communities have access to sport, to be off the streets, to really be helping in the cause in South Africa to lift up our country. You know, we really just want everyone to be on board with us in these audacious goals.
A big thank you to the gymnastics community for making this year's Gym Games such a special event. We celebrate your commitment, your dedication, and your discipline. The results reflect your efforts. We hope you enjoyed this Gym Games highlights package. For all the results from this year's Gym Games, go to www.gymnasticssa.co.za. We look forward to seeing you back in action at the 2022 Gym Games.